here with Round 1 TV. We're just leaving the Sergio Martinez and Williams fight. Possible knockout of the year, man. Talk to us about what you just witnessed, man.
To me, it's without question knockout of the year. Maybe that's just because I was, it just happened moments ago. But to me, boxing won tonight. I mean, you had a middleweight champion coming into a fight, having the HBO or the powers that be put a catch weight of 158 on him. They announced him, first. He had to be in the blue corner, completely disrespected. Didn't get the lion's share of the money. Just was not treated like a champion. And justice prevailed. He knocks Paul Williams out in the second round, erases any doubt about their first matchup. And tonight what we saw is the birth of an A-side in boxing, and that's always great.
Absolutely, absolutely. And who would you like to see Sergio in with next, man?
That's a great question, because the middleweight division is a very young division. You've got Gennady Golovkin, you've got Dmitry Pirog, Sebastian Silvestre, who's an older kind of fading champion. A lot of those guys want to stay in Europe, with the exception of Pirog, who wants to come to the States, and I'm told by HBO that he'll be, I think, on HBO in the first quarter of the year. So maybe what happens is, I'm not really sure where Sergio goes. Maybe he gets a junior middleweight coming up. Maybe he picks out a guy like Felix Sturm, who American audiences knows, and we can lure him over. I'm not quite sure where he goes, because all these other guys have belts and they're not really willing to go to him. But everybody at the next tier is not ready for him.
Right. What about a Miguel Cotto, man?
That's a doable fight, but Miguel hasn't really established himself as a 154-pounder. So, maybe you look at a catchweight fight, and Sergio and Ludabella just said they don't want another catchweight fight. So he's kind of stuck right now, looking for opponents. I mean, that's probably a good opponent for him, but I think he wants great fights. He only wants 2 or 3, I think 3 fights, and then he wants to be done. That could be a big money fight for him, but in terms of prestige, I'm not sure what it does for him. He's kind of stuck at this point.
Okay, cool. Well, man, we just enjoyed a wonderful night, man. Good talking to you.
Hey, man, my pleasure.
Thank you. Round 1 TV here with our friend Kevin Iole. How you been, Kevin?
I'm great, Lamar. How are you?
I'm good, man. We just witnessed a hell of a knockout. Second round, Martinez over Williams, man. Talk to us about what you just saw, man.
Just a phenomenal performance. I expected Sergio Martinez to win the fight. I thought, he did a great job in the first fight. Certainly was much closer than what they had to score. The one judge had it 11 rounds to 1. That was ridiculous. I think Martinez proved that he's the 3rd best fighter in the world. I think, he's right there with Mayweather and Pacquiao. He's going to be a tough out for anybody. The problem for Sergio is really not a lot of guys for him to fight that he's going to make any money.
Well, yeah, so my next question, man, who would you like to see him in there next, man?
Mayweather. I mean, assuming Mayweather doesn't want to fight Pacquiao, and that's what I'm assuming, because that's all indication he's giving. Assuming that doesn't happen, the fight, I want to see Mayweather fight this guy. 2 fast guys, the size difference isn't as much, and I'm sure he would fight at 154. I think that would be a heck of a fight. I think it would be a tremendous fight. I'd favor Mayweather, but certainly it would not be an easy fight. And, those are the kind of fights boxing needs. I mean, obviously we want to see Pacquiao-Mayweather, but if you can't get that fight made because of the enmity between Arum and Mayweather, perhaps you can get Martinez and Mayweather, and that would be a good one.
Man, let us pray.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I just hope Floyd decides that, I get this sense that Floyd's just tired of boxing. He really does. And hey, you know what? If somebody doesn't want to fight, I don't want them to fight, because it's a dangerous sport. Even when you saw what happened to Paul Williams. He trained hard, he was prepared, and he, lucky he didn't get hurt. If you're not fully committed to it, it's no sport, so hey, you know what? I don't want to fight, and I'm not, so hey, I don't blame Floyd if he doesn't want to fight, but I just hope he makes up his mind one way or the other and doesn't leave us kind of hanging.
Okay, well, we're just a week away from Pacquiao and Margarito. Pacquiao did what we all expected. Who would you like to see him in the ring with next?
I'll tell you, the winner of Alexander and Bradley would be the fight I would like to see him fight. If you get him a fight with Berto, great, but who is Berto beaten? I mean, when you look at Berto's opponents, Berto's a champion, he's a 47-pounder, but there's nobody there that I look at and I say, hey, makes me want to see Berto, against him. So I'd say the winner of Bradley Alexander, that's going to be a guy that's had a string of good wins, then came out and, beat the other top 140. I think that'd be a great guy for Pacquiao. Size matchup will be tremendous. They could fight at 143. It'd be a great fight.
Love to see it. Thanks.
I hope it happens. Thank you, Lamar.
Always.
See you, man.
After you. You're going to defer to me?
I defer to my elder.
He defers to the good-looking guy.
I hear that.
That's fine. It was a devastating knockout. Paul Williams, I thought, fought the absolute wrong fight. To actually either win the fight or survive the fight, and he got the kind of fight, you got the result that you fight when you fight that kind of fight against a guy who's a devastating puncher. You got knocked out. it's a great step up for Sergio Martinez. I thought he had taken a big step forward when he got the middleweight title against Pavlik, but I think this puts him in an elite level with some world-class caliber fighters. Now, the bigger problem he has now is he's got to find an opponent, a future opponent, and he wants meaningful matches. Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of meaningful matches at the middleweight division.
Right. Chris?
Did I leave anything for you?
I think you covered pretty much.
That's why you never let the other guy go
that's
first.
True, that's true. Look, I think we saw the fighter of the year hands down right here. I mean, this guy showed, just like he did against Pavlik, that he can win in any style. He outboxed Pavlik to win that fight, and he crushed Paul Williams with one of the hardest punches I've ever seen. It reminded me of Vladimir Klitschko and Calvin Brock. I mean, Calvin Brock went down much the same way. You don't see fighters go toppling straight head first down that often. I mean, part of me sits there and wishes this guy was 5 years younger and spoke English, because I think he would be one of the biggest stars in the sport. The kind of star that America can hang their hat on, or the country can hang their hat on. But a great performance by a great fighter.
Okay.
Yeah, you mentioned 5 years younger. That would have put him in a position to fight Bernard Hopkins at middleweight, Jermaine Taylor at middleweight, I don't know, Winky Wright. I mean, there would have been a wealth of guys around him that could have made meaningful fights for him, big pay-per-view fights for him at that weight. But, now the division, a lot of guys have just outgrown the division. Andre Ward's not there. Darrell was never really there, but he could have, skipped a turkey sandwich and gotten down there. But, I mean, there are not a lot of guys that are, there anymore for him to fight that can make meaningful fights for him. So, he's probably 2 years too late, and now he's going to have to create whatever excitement's going to be created in the division. He's going to have to create it.
He's going to have to make some hard choices too. Do you want to wait for a potential mega fight that may never show up, or do you want to, be the guy that cleans out the middleweight division? I mean, it's going to be a hotly contested debate. I personally think I wouldn't mind seeing him fight the Pirogs and the Felix Sturms, and walk away, like you said, in 2 years as the undisputed middleweight champion. How many guys in history can say that? Let's not forget, middleweight was once the glamour division.
Absolutely.
So I think you go that route. Other people think you sit around and wait for a mega fight that could or could not emerge. So it'll be an interesting next few months.
Okay. Well, we're a week away from the Pacquiao and Margarito fight, man. And, who could we possibly see Pacquiao up against if it's not Mayweather?
I think I'll go first on this one.
First, I defer.
The first, the better-looking guy. Everybody wants a piece of Pacquiao, no question. The idea of Andre Berto has been floated. I wouldn't mind that. I think Berto is a legit 147-pounder, which is the weight class I think Pacquiao should be fighting at. There are a lot of names I don't think Pacquiao should be fighting. I obviously don't think he should be fighting Paul Williams. I don't think he should be fighting Shane Mosley. I think Pacquiao should find the best 140 or 147-pounder out there and take them out. Whether that's Andre Berto, whether that's the winner of the Devin Alexander, Timothy Bradley fight. I think there are quality opponents for Pacquiao, because as we've seen, he can sell a fight by himself. I mean, he did almost 1 million pay-per-view buys against Josh Clottey, put 50,000 people in Cowboy Stadium. Anybody is better than Josh Clottey. So, Pacquiao just needs to find the most quality guy out there and take him on.
I'm going to tell Josh Clottey's mother you said that about
do that, man. you call God on your cell phone?
Yeah, I got God. I got speed dial.
Hey, man, so where does Mayweather stand in this mix, man? He seems like the odd man out right now, man, and not by force.
He's sort of taking himself out of the picture with his not doing the fight the second time around, or signing the fight Pacquiao the second time around, and he's taking himself out of the picture with his legal problems as well. So, I think for anybody to just sort of mention him now in the vein of making this fight, it's like a pipe dream. It's not going to happen. So why even talk about it? So I think you might as well just just forget about that. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, then we won't spend a lot of time talking about it. And then you just mention the other guys that are possibilities. And oddly enough, Paul Williams just passed the Manny Pacquiao audition tonight.
Did he get knocked out?
That's all it takes, baby. That's all it takes to pass the Manny Pacquiao audition. So Manny may be on the Bob Aaron may be on the phone right now, trying to make Paul Williams as the
sign Paul Williams first. Look, I think that Mayweather. I honestly believe Mayweather will eventually fight Pacquiao. I truly believe in my heart. Maybe that's wishful thinking.
I think
maybe that's optimistic. But one of the things I think about Mayweather is that he was a little more banged up after the Mosley fight than people thought. I think fighting a guy as big as Shane was and as strong as Shane was, granted it was one-sided, I think that took a little bit more out of Floyd than he thought, and he wanted no part of a November fight. I think you're right, the legal issues, other entanglements are huge issues, but if those things are not there, come negotiation time, I think physically he'll be willing to take this fight in May. I truly still believe it.
Okay. All right. Well, as always, guys, it's been great.
All right, we got it.
Let me ask you this, man. Who would you like to see Martinez in there next, right?
Me.
Really?
I want to do Martinez hopefully next March, April, you know what I mean? Just come back. Like I said, it was 2 years that I fought before I fought Paul, and just the style. Paul just a tall, lanky dude. But Martinez more my size, and I think he's a sharp, good fighter, and I want to prove I'm the best, so I want to come back and fight somebody like that.
So you want to get in this game in what weight?
160.
Now 154? You think you can
No, I can't make 154 right now. 160 is good. 160 is good.